the chord number 3 sprint, or sprint number 3. I'm going to go through all the epics, and we'll have a look at what's been pulled into the sprint. So who's in charge of the admin GUI? Anybody online?
That would be Teo.
Yeah.
I don't know if Scott can speak to that or not.
I guess Andy.
Yeah, we synced up with Mateo earlier, and he said that he thought this set of tasks was reasonable for the sprint. So he did update these earlier today.
Okay. All right. I'm okay with that if everyone's okay with that. Seems like a reasonable. So is he the only one working on that, or does he have help?
I think he's the only one working on it, and he did give us a warning that maybe he wouldn't be full-time for the next couple of weeks because he's getting ready to move out to you guys.
Oh, okay. Well, then I just gonna reorder them in priorities, and I guess you can. I mean, I guess then 10 story points is a little bit too much if he doesn't have a full 3 weeks. We'll leave it for now and see how that proceeds, but I'm guessing it'll be too much, given that he's going to be moving and stuff.
Yeah, that's probably the case.
Yeah, but I think it's okay. I mean, it's not an excessive amount. It's okay. And if you want to XOS monitoring analytics, that's
Yeah, this is
Srikant.
it's Ali, yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. I see. What is this? Emu Sprint 3 or Chord Sprint 3?
This one here.
Okay. So this time in this sprint, I have added a few exploration-related stories, primarily on the dashboard side. In the last sprint, we have brought in Horizon-based dashboard to visualize the metrics and statistics, and I wanted to see if we can. Currently, there are some hacks done inside the dashboard, and we wanted to see how the XOS-related credentials can be passed to the dashboard. So that is the third activity, that is Ceilometer dashboard explore feeding the XOS user credentials. This is of more Django related activity, and I may need some help from the Mateo, the UI engineer. And the other activities are on the multi-tenancy of the Ceilometer service inside XOS. Today we create one container per VM for each tenant. Instead, we wanted to optimize it multiple containers inside the same VM. So I need to understand the data modeling part of that to see how we can spin multiple containers inside a given VM. And also, we have faced some issues in the last sprint when I was creating the tenants for a non-admin users in the XOS. So I need to see how I can support creation of these Ceilometer tenants for non-admin users. These are the three major exploration activities, and parallelly, in the last sprint, we have integrated vCPE, the CPE related metrics with the Ceilometer, the same way we wanted to take up one additional in this sprint. So we will start with the OLT meter integrations with Ceilometer framework and display them in the dashboard. Yeah, these are the 5 activities that I would like to target in this sprint.
Okay, you're the only one working on this because 18 is too much.
Okay. So last sprint I could finish off 14. So maybe then.
Okay. Maybe you're.
I should leave. Maybe yeah. Then I'll take out the last 2 OLT related parts.
You want to take out those 2?
Yeah.
You're always free to pull them back in, but like.
Yes, yeah. Depending on the way it goes, I can put it.
All right. Cool. Okay. Anything else?
No, that's it from analytics and monitoring part.
Let's move on to the Fabric then. And the Fabric.
Saurav is not here today, so I guess I will speak for him. For the last sprint, there is a lot of leftovers and put it to this sprint. So in this sprint, we're trying to take fewer storage points and see if we can make it done. So basically, Saraf is still working on the OFDPA driver to support the fabric, and I'm working on the L2 switch within a rack. And Flavio, I think he's working on the test on the hardware drivers, and that's basically the major issues here in the fabric. And there's also some minor issues about some documentation and bug fixes. And in this sprint, there is a relatively large storage. You can see the number 27. It's Criterion is going to help us to write off tests to test our hardware switches, and there's a lot of test cases need to be done. So the storage is a little bit large. I think it's okay to put it here, and we can try to if we can split it into several smaller issues.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's like 3 people at least, if not like 4 people in total, if you count in Criterion as well.
Right.
Okay.
And we have 40 points, so I think it's okay.
Yeah, and some of these stories have already been started.
Right.
So I guess that's okay. So that's like 32. Yeah, it should be fine. Yeah, it should be fine. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's move to Burwell. Scott?
Let's see. I can take this. All right. So I think most of our XOS tasks appear during the next epoch, the integrate services into XOS. So
I think this one here, this 235, I think Tony is currently working on.
okay, so this is assigned to you, but we should assign this to Tony instead.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
There we go.
Perfect.
Okay, and that's the only story that'll come into here?
Yeah, I think we've split most of our tasks across these 2 epochs, but the most of them appear in the other one. So,
Okay.
oh wait, where are they? All right. I guess I don't know how to assign stories to epochs because I thought this was all set up. All right.
Well, tell me what needs to be pulled in.
Yeah. All right.
Oops, sorry.
So, all right. So these tasks look fine. A couple of the main tasks that we're going to be focusing on in this sprint are the AT&T requirement to support containers on Bear operating system. Scott, I think, is taking the lead on that. Larry wants to continue refining XOS support for ONOS applications. And so that's the ONOS as a service on XOS bullet. The VSG as a service, I believe, is mainly focused on wait, we should have a separate bullet for this, separate story. One of the things that we agreed to in our conversation with AT&T last week was to try to pick up Don's Docker API and integrate that with our development environment. But I do not see that as in here in the backlog. I did create a story earlier, but I'm not sure where it ended up. So,
yeah, I see one that's Cord 322.
Yes. What is that associated with an epoch?
That's under the Cloud Lab development environment epoch.
Oh, okay.
Should I change that?
Sure.
Should I make what epoch should it be in?
Well, I mean, yeah.
This one?
Sure.
All right, you tell me.
So does the Cloud Lab development environment epoch show up in our list of epochs for this sprint?
Let me check.
Because that's probably where everything ended up. Oh, there it is down there. Okay, cool. Well, we can go to that one in a sec.
So this one is here.
Yeah.
Okay. So should it be there or should it be in the Cloud Lab development?
All right. Since that one appears, let's put it back in the Cloud Lab development environment, if that's okay.
Sure.
Maybe we should integrate these tasks into a single epic for simplicity.
Well, should I? So
yeah. Okay.
The 3 stories that you're gonna have in this particular epic. Should I jump to Cloud Lab then?
Yeah. Go ahead, please.
Okay.
So 226 is an epic leftover from a story left over from the last sprint. So there was a problem that we encountered with the OLT app configuring the CPQD switch, and once that's resolved, then I think 226 is done. One of the focuses for this sprint is going to be integrating the VTN ONOS app with our development environment on Cloud Lab.
That's also part of a larger conversation about whether we're going to communicate between XOS, between XOS and the VTN app. Are we going to communicate over Neutron? Because that's kind of an assumption we've made in the VTN ONOS app.
Right.
That's a conversation we can have.
Yeah.
Over many emails.
Okay, so I don't know if it's appropriate to have this split out as a separate story or if it should be part of a different story. What do you think?
So this particular story overlaps with a story that's in overlay and virtualization. So when we get to overlay and virtualization, just keep that on the back of your mind. When we get there, we might mark the 2 tasks or the 2 stories as duplicates of each other. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Have them in both places because there's a little bit that's on you and a little bit that's on us. So it's kind of it's a little difficult to split out nicely. Maybe over time we'll be able to split it up. And let's just leave it as is for now.
Right. Okay. That sounds like a good approach. And then we have the 322, which is try to integrate Don's Docker stuff with our development environment, and that of course has a lot of dependencies. Like for example, actually getting hold of Don's stuff. But assuming that happens, then we're going to try to move forward on that.
Okay. So in total, that's 34 story points for you guys, huh?
Yeah, no, this is sprint planning. Is there a pointer from what Don's Docker API is?
Yeah, there is. He sent an email around. Were you not on that?
I don't know. I may have missed it. I'll have to go back and look. But
I can forward it to you. Just ping me. I'll forward it to you later.
Yep. Thanks.
Okay. So that's 34 story points for you guys. For you and Scott, that's.
Yeah.
Well, it just depends if you've estimated your stories appropriately. How many stories did you kill last time?
I don't remember, but it seems like perhaps that number of points might be sort of ambitious, especially considering that a lot of this week is going to be kind of taken up with the workshop on Thursday and Friday that Scott and I will both attend out at ON Lab.
Sure. So I suggest you maybe prune a couple stories off.
Yeah, I think. Scott, do you have any ideas about what we could prune?
No, I think I'd like to stick with finishing up ONOS as a service and starting to work on containers on bare metal. It's likely the containers on bare metal won't get finished.
Yeah, this VSG. Let's take off this VSG as a service because, I don't think that's as critical.
And from here, is there anything we can take out from here?
No, I don't think so, but maybe it's not as bad as it looks because I think the build-out subscriber-side networking is
That's cool.
almost finished.
All right.
So let's just stick with what we have now.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, that's true. You're nearly done with that one. That's true. Okay. Integrate XOS with eComp. I'm guessing there's nothing here yet.
No, yeah, there's nothing there.
Let's move on swiftly to OLT. So for the OLT, there's still a few tests. Well, a few behavioral issues like when the VOLT reconnects to ONOS, sometimes the behavior is erratic. We need to kind of figure out when and how this happens. Well, not when, but when, how it happens, and what are the problems. I'm going to start implementing the multicast application hopefully with help from DirecTV. Some of these things are on PMC's book. Support for multiple controllers like role support and mastership support. We have a problem with Q and Q packets that aren't being forwarded properly in the downstream direction. I don't believe the agent yet compiles on a 64-bit system, which is lower priority but needs to be fixed. And the delete all, I believe, still doesn't work, right?
Delete all groups.
Delete all groups.
Delete all flows does, I think.
Does?
I think so.
Well, we'll test it. Leave it for now. And yeah, so that's 17 story points. These are split over two to three people, so I think that's okay. Any questions? So for virtualization, Hinton, you want to talk about this, or do you want me to talk about it?
Initial for the second issue.
This one?
Yeah. Initial code VTN implementation in the last sprint using GetD virtual network information from existing VTN resource. And in this sprint, it will be switched to OpenStack switching. And I think because it's well in terms of design. And the second one is get and set data plane IP for tunneling. Currently, Core VTN uses control network for tunneling, and I think it should be fixed to use data plane network. So it's that one. And the third one is resolve OpenSDB device reconnect issue. This is the last issue I know for compute node initialization, and actually I'm not sure this should be handled here or general ONOS, because ONOS can't handle OpenSDB device availability well. Okay. Because it handles the device as the same with OpenFlow switch device. It assigns a role, master or slaves, OCV, and when it's disconnected and reconnected, it does not handle the availability correctly. Okay. So actually, I need help on this issue.
Okay, we can look at it. We can look at it together. Is there anything else you think should be pulled in?
I think that's already a lot for me.
It is a lot.
It's 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's.
I think that's yeah. Okay, so mobile cord. I think we decided that this would go back to ONOS Scrum as opposed to this Scrum, right? Yes. Yeah. So I can either should I mark these as done, or should I just leave them? I don't know. Bill, what do you think?
So why did it go back to the other one?
Because it's not really, it's part of cord, but it's more like still a work in progress design thing.
Yeah.
And it's not really something that we're building out right now.
Okay.
And we have
closing that.
Yeah, just mark them as done.
That's what Gur mentioned last time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess if I just say it's fine. Upgrading OpenCloud. Who's on that? Tony Mac. Tony Mac. Scott or Randy, do you guys have anything about? Do you guys know anything about this?
Yeah, this is just kind of Tony's ongoing tasks. I think these are left over from the last sprint. I don't know the status. I haven't been able to sync up with Tony recently.
Okay.
So just leave it, I guess.
Yeah. Anyway, that plus he's got another three story points. It's fine. It shouldn't be a problem. And if he's already started on these, it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. I think that's David. Can you talk about this?
Yeah, this is really just continuing to work and follow up on the clustering metadata store and making sure that it will support an etcd implementation. So as things get added to the cluster store API, we can incorporate those into the build that we're doing. So in the end, when it's all complete, we can just kind of plug an etc store in.
Okay.
I didn't get a chance to follow up in the planning session this morning on just ONOS, so I have to catch back up on what's being planned for the cluster metadata store for that.
Okay. All right. Maybe we should. Well, I'll take this up offline with you. How will this fold into Cord?
Again, we're looking at Cord as a deployment of microservices based. I think there needs to be some big. Well, hopefully this week when everybody's in town, I can have some good discussions, particularly with some of the Exos folk, because I think there's overlap, collision, whatever you want to talk about it, kind of directionally. But we're looking again as a Docker-based microservices approach to delivering Cord.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I guess we need to chat about this. Also, the story points you put for this, that's not 10 is not a Fibonacci number.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know we were doing Fibonacci.
Sorry. Either 8 or 13.
Pick 8.
8. Oops. Okay. vRouter, I don't think.
Yeah, so I just put some stuff. Last sprint I did some work to basically just decode the FPM protocol messages from Quagga. So this sprint we want to actually pass them into routes and push them into the rest of the ONOS routing pipeline to try and get some routes pushed out to the hardware.
This is FPM stand for?
It's Fib Push Manager. Yeah.
Like it comes with its own data format?
It's network basically.
It's what?
Network messages.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So that's 8 points. That seems reasonable. All right. We've been through here, and this has nothing on it. Okay. So any issues on epics? Who created this? What is this? I don't know what this is. And this is a guy who was at the tutorial in Bilbao. So.
Oh, I wonder if he probably swapped his locale and then it crashed or something. Is it a stack trace?
Why is it in Cord?
Yeah, it seems like it should be on.
Yeah. Okay. I'll close this and let me just put a comment. I can't move it to anywhere. So I can't mark it. I'll deal with it later. All right. So that makes in total. Where do I see? Where do I see the number of? Where do I see the number of points?
Go down to the number of points for 3 round. Scroll down a bit.
Right over there. Okay. So 156 points. That's roughly the same of what we had last time. Last time we didn't do too well. We only closed like 60.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping we'll close some more this time, but it seems like a lot. let's just go with this for now.
You're almost like to the point and to this. It's almost exactly the same payload as last time, including the number of issues.
Yeah, maybe they're all the same issues for all we know. Yeah, okay, so we'll just do it for now. I kind of feel like we're going to close a lot more issues this time. I'm hoping. All right. Any questions?
What work is happening around the portals that we need?
Well, we have one. We have the admin.
Just the operational portal, right?
Well, the admin one. Yeah, we don't have the customer and operator portal. We haven't started any work around that as far as I can tell.
Okay.
I don't even know that it's a good time to start talking about this because for customer portal you need first you need to integrate the VSG into the system and then start talking about the customer portal.
Yeah.
So I think for now it doesn't really make sense to put it in there. But we can put a story in the backlog, which I believe we don't have. So we'll have to. We should probably a point that should be raised on the core mailing list. Raise that on the mailing list and see who can take that up or not. Okay. I don't know that. Okay. Off the top of my head.
Okay. So since AT&T is not, at least I don't think anyone's on this from AT&T. Is there anything that we're expecting from them that we haven't talked about?
Other than what Andy has mentioned about getting the API from Don and the VSG image from Don, I don't think so. No.
Okay. Hey, David, is there any way we can get more visibility on some of the system-related tasks that Sienna's doing?
We're trying to put, well, depends what you mean. Anything we are trying to do specifically on ONOS, we're trying to put into these boards, right? We have some other tasks that we're doing that are not directly related to ONOS or CORD, but relate to some things we're doing around a Docker-based microservices framework. Yeah, so are you looking for visibility into those things, or only the things that kind of directly relate to CORD?
So Mike sent Guru a note that lays out like 8 people's worth of work, which is directly related to CORD, at least according to Mike.
Okay, I know the email you're talking about.
So how do we have the visibility for those people?
Those things, when we have people working, they will be in the sprints here. The 2 people that we brought on, they're still ramping up. I don't know how you want to express that in terms of these sprints, right? They're not full-time yet. One is supposed to be full-time, I think, at the end of the month. One's got, I think, can be full-time at the end of December. Until then, there's a percentage of the time we got. How do you want to incorporate some of that ramp-up time? I mean, they're learning the technology still.
I don't really want to record their ramp-up time. I just find that there's a little bit of a disconnect, I think, between what Mike portrays and what we're seeing in the sprint. So I just wanted to reconcile.
I would agree. Yeah,
maybe we can because it kind of fits into the conversation I wanted to have anyway around the task you put in.
Yep.
So maybe have a bit more of a conversation. What should really be reflected in the CORD Jira is things that pertain to CORD itself. Projects that like you're taking the lead on that may have a different architecture or a different way of deploying CORD, which is fine, might be useful, but as long as they're not rolled into CORD yet or accepted as a CORD subsystem yet or like deemed as part of CORD yet, maybe they shouldn't be reflected in CORD. Is that what you're trying to say, Bill?
Well,
but then that's going to bring a question. How do you determine what's deemed as part of CORD yet?
Well,
right.
Yes. I mean, but yes. Well, that's what.
I could make the argument that look, CORD's really not going to be deployable until we have a good microservices container story. I could make that argument.
Yeah.
So, question is, what's the process to bless or not bless something as part of CORD?
Well, yes, we have to have that conversation. We need to figure out that conversation, both for us internally and for partners.
So the work that's going on around microservices, is that reflected in these?
Yeah, it's here. It's kind of this. This is the part. This is like the start of it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. But I think we should have this kind of deeper conversation sometime soon.
Well, by default, it'll happen Thursday.
Huh?
Some of it will happen Thursday.
I can come down earlier or come up earlier if you guys were schedule an online call or whatever you guys want to do.
Sure. Okay. All right. Anything else? Nope. All right. Well, that ends the sprint planning session. Let's get to work.
Chop, chop.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.